let's talk a bit about Dangote's refinery. As we know, Dangote's refinery is one of the biggest in the world. Some will say it is a pride. Um, and Dangote Refinery has since been started. I think it's more than 2 years or 3 years ago. And it was finished, and Nigerians were hoping to see that refinery produce fuel. In fact, the owners of the refinery said they promised Nigerians that sooner, okay, we will start buying fuel at a cheap rate, and the refinery will start functioning. And it means we could buy fuel below the 197, about 200 or thereabouts that we were told. But at the end of the day, severally we had, they sent crude to the refinery and we were waiting for the output. It came to a point it was diesel, and diesel has been refined and sold. I don't know whether it's cheaper than the imported diesel. So we have been looking for the petrol from the refinery. And prior to the completion of this refinery, yes, it is called Dangote Refinery, but not solely owned by Dangote. Yes, not solely owned by Dangote. It's owned by a lot of Nigerians, but I think Dangote himself had the major stake. And so it's a Dangote Refinery. And before this refinery, let's talk about Dangote's monopoly. Of course, you know that the businessmen, among several businessmen that have enjoyed monopoly in Nigeria, Dangote is one of them. Yes. Other people seems to be, it came to a point as if other business are being knocked off for Dangote monopoly too. You know, we've heard of the case of Dangote and Ibeto cement. Dangote went to court severally. Ibeto cement license was revoked. And, you know, severally, he enjoyed waivers from the government. Some people say even cheaper dollar rate. And in a capitalist economy, this is not something that should be enjoyed by only one company. It is something, a kind of incentive that is given out to manufacturers, not just one. You don't favor one against the rest. You have to make it to be an equal level playing ground. But that wasn't the case. So Dangote has been enjoying monopoly until now. This is the first time we are seeing Dangote cry out, and more like a pampered baby, every time on the mother's back. And the mother in this case is Nigerian government, always carrying Dangote. And some people do say Dangote is a northern business, and that is why. And if you look at most people that have been head of states in Nigeria are from the north. So he enjoyed a kind of favoritism that other business may not enjoy. And it's, you know, the result will be that other business will have to close down. If you are not getting, okay, for you to source raw materials, you're required to have, you need to have dollars. Now, if this person gets this money at so rate, but this time around, there was a change of regime, and somebody from the southwest is in charge. And prior to this, there have been a deal made between Dangote Refinery and NNPC. And NNPC has a stake in Dangote's refinery. Perhaps part of the deal was that NNPC will supply fuel to Dangote's refinery. But Dangote's refinery has since been waiting, and there was no supply of fuel. So Dangote started to cry. He went out to source fuel. Yes, he went to source petrol. As I'm not petrol, crude oil, because petrol is one of the refined products of crude oil. He went to source, and I think due to cost, importation, and the rest of them, he couldn't make it, and he came back. He started crying. He started talking about sabotage. There were several seminars that Dangote were singing. And, this is one of the biggest refinery on earth. One of the biggest refinery. And some people say it is the pride of Nigeria. And some other people say, what of when your business was given some kind of advantage and other business had to close down? So you have to face the sentence. That is how some people see it. You have to see how it feels. But some people came with this kind of reason. They said, now we are buying fuel at what price? Around 700 to 800, depending on the filling station you go to buy. It is said that if Dangote Refinery functions at full capacity, if they pump crude oil to the refinery, that we might buy fuel 150, 200 naira, which is good. So, should we, because of one rat, tear down everything, burn down the whole house? Of course, Dangote enjoyed monopoly in the past, or what, let me not totally call it monopoly, but what looks like monopoly. If you are getting incentive better than other competitors, it's somewhat a monopoly. Now, should we, because of what the past government has used Dangote to do to other businesses, despite that we are being called a capitalist economy, should we, because of that, stop Dangote from operating? Look at the size of that refinery. And let me tell you something. The capacity of that refinery, it can serve the whole of Nigeria fuel and still export petroleum products outside there. But what is happening? They say the sabotage, and it came to a point Dangote was even talking about selling it to NNPC. And we had in some corners, can NNPC manage it? There was a time Nigeria was privatizing the industries or the companies here because these companies cannot be handled by the government anymore. When you privatize it, there will be more focus. People will handle it. The right hands will, So, is it necessary for Dangote to hand over his refinery to NNPC? Has NNPC been able to run other refineries that Nigeria have? Nigeria have refineries, big refineries, though not the size of Dangote's refinery. But what really happened? Sabotage. It came to a point our refineries were having problems. We are not servicing. Rather than servicing, we are going to get loans outside. And you had the latest. One of the reasons why Dangote cannot be given crude. One of the reasons they gave in a video, they said, our crude has been used to borrow huge amount of money. Our crude, most of this, okay, can you imagine? Buhari, we borrow money with our crude oil, use it to build road, build rail line, going to Niger. When you're borrowing, you need something to service the loan. But that is not the case. So it is said that our crude oil has been used to borrow huge amount of money. Now, having been used to, as maybe collateral, to borrow huge amount of money, we will have to keep giving them fuel until we are able to pay the amount that the oil was used to borrow. And that is the case. That is another reason they gave for not serving him crude. The second reason was that Dangote is trying to bring about that monopoly again. Remember, Dangote told marketers of petroleum products that they should stop importing and come to him. And there is a particular saying, it is not giving that monkey the cup to drink, but can you be able to collect the cup again? Meanwhile, there are other refineries, but how many of them are really functioning at full capacity? What is the amount of crude that they can refine? But Dangote Refinery, the fact is that Dangote Refinery can serve the whole of Nigeria and even still export. In crude oil, you don't only get petrol. There are other constituents and a various distillation degrees, you get them. So that it is said Dangote can still service Nigeria, the whole of Nigeria, and still sell. But he is here to get the crude. And that is why I think he began to buy up NNPC share, pay them back for their share in his company because they did not comply. The deal struck was not respected. So that is it. Now, for the first time, Dangote is like crying. It's, you know how a cry baby does. It's funny, but it's true. But then there is other thing we have to look at. Will Dangote save the situation in Nigeria? Let me tell you one fact. One fact is that you need to know is that the current hardship in Nigeria is not really about foreign exchange, the dollars against naira. You know, dollar today is like 1.5 against naira. That is not really the problem now. The problem is fuel pump price. You know, Tinubu took it up from around 200 naira to 600. Then right now it's 700, 800. That is why food is costly in Nigeria. Everybody knows about what to do when there is a hike in fuel price. Even if some of these products, the processing do not require fuel, people will add it to their markup. So at the end of the day, the price of everything is skyrocketed. We are really suffering in Nigeria. And it is said, if Dangote Refinery begins to refine fuel and sells at cheaper rates, but there's also the other saying that anything that goes up in Nigeria does not come down. So what do you think? Should fuel be pumped into Dangote's, crude oil be sent to Dangote's refinery for refining? I think so, yes. For the benefit of all Nigeria, because of what is at stake now, I think he should get the crude. But they should know how to modulate him, because this might still get to a point he will want to monopolize everything. Because he's telling the marketers, you people should stop importing, come to me. And imagine a point in time they stopped importing. Everybody will have to rely on Dangote and the few other refineries that are somewhat moribund. Let it not come to a point we will only rely on one man for a supply of a particular, one of the most important necessity of today's life. So look at it. If you look at, if you have what that board that is attached to NNPC said, that they don't want that monopoly to be created again, that Dangote will be in charge of everything. I think if I were to advise, let them still allow importation of fuel. Then let them give Dangote crude to refine. We buy the cheaper one. If those importing can bring down their price to what Dangote will sell. Or what do you think? We cannot put our eggs in one basket. We know Dangote. Recently, Dangote and Bua had problems because of they were asked to bring down cement price. There were disagreements. And it is said that Nigerians buy fuel, buy cement costlier than any part of the world. So what are we saying? So it is risky for, according to the board attached to NNPC, it is risky for Dangote to control everything. Because these businessmen, let me not say Dangote, these businessmen, some of them are dangerous. Many of them are dangerous. And he could be saying, oh, I want to save Nigeria now. I want to save Nigeria. At the end of the day, When okay, look at what happened with Air Peace and people who are applying London route. Look at the cost of traveling to London until Air Peace came and brought the price down. And we now knew it was possible for them to still come down to that price and still make gains. Can you imagine what they are taking from Nigerians until Air Peace opened everybody's eyes? So, Nigeria buys cement higher than any part of the world. Do you know that? Cement costs more in Nigeria than any part of the world. They were being begged to reduce cement price. Can you imagine? And that is why everybody is afraid, giving him that petrol fuel monopoly now. Of course, that refinery is about $19-20 billion. It mustn't be left like that. I agree that crude should be pumped into it. But there is other problem that I specified here. The other problem is our crude has been used to borrow money. Loans, big loans, billions of dollars. And there is an agreement based on the borrowing. And you have to stick to that agreement. And this is one of the reasons they are telling Dangote, we cannot give you fuel, crude. And a lot of people have been blamed. We had an allegation against Kyari, the one that is in charge of NNPC, having having companies abroad. Everybody is trying to exonerate themselves. And some are saying if Dangote begins to refine fuel, we will see the wayo. We will see the unfairness from the government, and that the government will not allow him because he is going to expose them. What are we going to believe? What are we going to believe? We, the common people, are the ones suffering it. The senators, you see, the House of Rep member, they don't care. The people in office, our leaders, some of them do not pay for what they use in their vehicles, including electricity. They have a budget for all of that. They said that is why they are afraid of giving him crude. But I would advise, if it is possible, let them allow him. But they should know how to curtail him. And you know my fear too. This Tinubu's government can regulate him. But what of coming government? Because that refinery will outlive so many Nigerians. Let it not come to a point he's the only one selling fuel. And he dictates for the people what to buy. Just like it has happened with other products. What do you think? I think I will leave this broadcast here. It's going to be a short one. It's an impromptu broadcast. And that's why I'm leaving on time. Thanks for following us. Please share widely. Bye-bye for now.